Welcome back. This is part 6. My name is Simon Peter from Poogie Code. I'll be teaching you raw PHP today. So those of you who have just landed on this video, we started with the MTN API integration using the native sandbox from the MTN website, okay? And then we went ahead, we did the same using Postman, okay? And then today we're going to do raw PHP coding using the same items. All right, so my name is Simon Peter. Do not forget to subscribe, like, or even share these videos. These videos are very important. Don't forget also to go and view through the rest of the videos we've created. We have videos in 3ds Max. We have videos in other programming languages. And we even have videos in multimedia. All right, so what do you need for today? First, you need Postman, and it would be better you follow the last project we created. For example, we have a project which was called Momo YouTube Live, and then the other thing we have is we have our server. Today we have me. I'm using MAMP. You may be using WAMP. Nothing of the ordinary. Of course, you need internet connection, and then you need a text editor, and I'm using Sublime Text. All right, so the first thing we need a UUID generator, okay? Remember before we were getting from an online UUID generator, and then this is a code for you to generate UUID inside your code. Now remember, you need a UUID tied on every transaction that you're going to be doing that you're going to be working on. All right, so my site's UUID, and then this is where my projects are going to be launched. Okay, so first thing we need to understand is JSON. What is JSON? JSON is it's called JavaScript object notation. JSON is not a language. JSON is a format, a way of doing things. All right, now how does JSON work? For example, right now I'm browsing on my Chrome on Apple. Okay, Apple was developed using iOS. You get it? Apple was developed in maybe Swift and the other, I've forgotten it, but let's not waste time. Then someone who's viewing the same on Android or on Windows there will be continuity. What allows that continuity? JSON, JavaScript object notation. So JavaScript object notation, what it does, it encodes whatever inputs you've put on this device. For example, this is a Mac, and then uploads it to the server, okay? And then when you go onto your mobile, Android, iOS will decode the JavaScript object notation and then get the variables that you will allow your continuity. For example, you're going to people who may be accessing the same platform, all right, on mobile and on their cell phones. For example, when someone makes a request to pay, they'll have to get their phones, okay, and then they enter a PIN. They may be even using USSD instead of an application. But then, how does the software interpret that? Through JavaScript object notation. All right, here the same JSON is syntactically identical to the code of creating JavaScript objects. Because of this similarity, the JavaScript program can easily convert JSON data into native JavaScript. JSON syntax is derived from JavaScript object notation, but JSON format is text only. All right, so let's go ahead. The first thing I'm going to do is paste that code, okay? All right, so here in the chat room, they are saying that's a lot of code. All right, here in the chat room, I think I'll paste the generator later. I need to find the I can't paste in the comments. I thought I would paste that, but I can't paste in the comments. All right, so I'll paste that UUID generator later, but still you can come and search UUID generator for PHP. Okay, I'm very sure you'll get raw UUID generators. There's one I found on Stack Overflow. Let me see. And don't forget, with MTN we are using version 4 of the UUID. Alright, there is this one. So it means you can get online. Let me look for it, I think. Okay, so this is the code, okay? This is the code. And all you have to do is get this code and put it in a function. Alright, so that's what I did exactly here. And what did I do? I have a function, and that function is called generate UUID. This is a function down here. So this is a function to generate the UUID. Alright, so if that's the function, I echo that same function here. Okay, so on every time it will be generating a UUID. Let's test that in the server. So here I do echo the product of the function so this function will run through all this and then generate the UUID for me. Remember, this is PHP. For Java, maybe until I get to that side and give it more concentration, but I will with time. But then there's people who have been contributing on my channel, and you can see that code. I always pin it. All right, so let's go to my server. All right, and run this UUID. Okay, so you can see it can generate a UUID for me, and this is it. Every time I refresh, it's going to generate another one. You see, it's generating another one. Every time I refresh, it will be generating another one. All right, so all I have to do is put that into a variable. Okay, so first things first, we're going to get a token. We're going to get the token. So, and then I'll break that video, this video as a token. Okay, and then from the token, I'm going to make another successive video there and then right away, okay, doing the request to pay. Now, we're not creating users again. We are not creating users again. Reason why? We already have registered users in the sandbox. We already have registered users in the sandbox. All the sandbox right now needs is our token, and then the request to pay, and then to verify if someone has paid or not, or rejected. Alright, so I'll also be using the sandbox documentation. Remember those numbers. Alright, I'll be using the documentation. Remember those numbers, our testing numbers for the sandbox. So let me make that up and running. So you've already seen that our UUID generator is generating code for us. You can see. Alright, so, and you can also see when I go back to, so this is just to show me that I have some UUID items there. Alright, so since it is out of, you know, the PHP brackets, that's why it's showing here. But what I can do, I can remove it and save again so that people do not get confused. So you can see every time I generate a new UUID. Alright, so go ahead with that code. I'll also paste it in the comments and pin it so that you can use it. Alright, so let me undo in my and then save. So the comment up here just helps me to know what has been generated and what has not. Alright, so let's go ahead to postman, and then we'll look at where we get the token. Remember our folder we created last time. So get token. So we want to generate the code after testing success of our items. For example, whenever I send, alright, whenever I send, I can get a token from that user, okay, and from that user ID, and from the user ID and password. Alright, so I want to get this token because there is none. I don't need. Alright, so you can go ahead and do with different programs on how you want to get these tokens, but I'll be using PHP curl, PHP curl. Now you can go deep and do research about that. I did, But then, you know, when someone has already provided a solution, why do you need to go back there and then and do ABCD? So what we're going to do, you come here where you see code, okay? And then you have different languages, HTTP, lib, curl, then there's the native raw, curl, C#, Go, Java, okay? And then the different Javas, JavaScript, there's Java in Ajax and, you know, Node.js. And then, okay, you go through, there's PHP, and then me, I'll be using, there's PHP, and then I'll be using PHP curl. But you can see we have Python, Ruby, Shell, Swift, okay? So, PHP curl, and this is the code that has been generated for me. So all I need to do is copy that code to the clipboard. Okay, so it is copied. Remember, I'm copying it from Postman, and then I come to my, for example, untitled the item here, and then I paste. All right, so I've pasted this. Now, let me save it. First, let me save it. Remember, we're learning with errors so that we can see what we can do. So first, let me save it. And how can I save it? I'm going to call it a YouTube token, YouTube MTN token, okay, .php, YouTube MTN token .php, and then I save. All right, so after saving, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to do. So you can see, remember what we learned the other time? We learned about authorization basic, which is already generated for us here. And then that basic was later converted into a bearer using the token. So it already generates a basic for us, right? I don't know why it's taking this long to load, because I've just pressed save. So I'm going to go, okay, come on. I'm doing live. Why should I have this? I'll have to quit. I'll have to first force quit this. I don't know why it's doing that. Let me copy again. And then launch Sublime Text again. Sublime. I hate it when this happens. For example, I'm doing live, you know. Oh my God, why should this happen to me? All right, so it has already saved. So let me go and run that. I'll come back to my, and then I'm going to refresh. I'm back in my localhost. So I'm looking for MTN, yes, YouTube token. All right, so let me run that. And this is what it's giving us. Okay? This is what it's giving us. It is giving us the access token, okay? And then that is the access token for us. All right, so all we need to do is organize this, and it is telling us the time it's expiring. Now, I do not need all this. What do I need? I need to only get the access token. I need to only get the access token. Otherwise, the whole of this is unnecessary for me. What am I trying to say? When I'm making a request to pay, the only thing I need is the access token. Very simple. So I need to find a way of eliminating this. Okay, I need to find a way of eliminating this. For example, the curly braces. I do not need them. So we're going to modify our code. We're going to modify our code. So I'll be referencing from my past items so that we do not make mistakes. So one of the things we may not need. Okay, let me first explain this. This is curl. If you've gone through curl, you initialize your curl, all right? Then you put your variables, okay? And then this is where we are requesting for the token, and then the return transfer, all right? And then we are posting, all right? What kind of post? So we are posting, and then we want to, we already posted our our subscription key, okay? And then what we got was a basic, and then this basic was later converted to get a token. All right, so, and then we collect what the curl we execute the curl, this variable of the curl that was initialized, we execute it here, and then we put it into a variable called response. All right, and then if we have error, all right, we also capture that error, and it will be given to us. And then we close the curl. Now, if we do not have an error, if we have an error, let us echo the error. Okay? And then else, let us echo the response. But the response is giving us this. The response is giving us this, and we do not need all this. All we need is a token. Simple. So what do? We're going to start briefing that. So I'll be referencing from my previous tests so that we avoid different mistakes. So the first thing we're going to do, okay, we're going to get, okay, it echoes response. We're going to get this response that has been echoed, and then we JSON decode it. So this is a token, okay? We JSON decode the response. Follow here closely. So I'm going to copy this, and then we JSON decode the response. Okay, all right. So I come down here, sorry, it's okay. And then command V, so we JSON decode the response. Now, look at this. The moment you do an echo of that $token object, you're going to have a few errors. $token object, oh, sorry, token object, all right. Command S have saved, and then I'm going to run the same. I'm going to have a few errors, and those errors are what we are intending to correct. So I send back to get another token, and then guess what we have? All right, now I need to eliminate some code, all right, so that I do not echo. I'm echoing two items that I go here. Or else I'm going to space them. So let a response not be echoed. Let response not be echoed. All right, so let me save so that we can see that we get JSON decode this response. Okay. All right, so there we are. I have nothing in there. Why? All right, so one, let us see, before we JSON decode, what do we need to do? Let me first also attach something here. Okay, this is JSON, so that we know which one is JSON, which one is not. This is JSON, and then command S, I run again, so I refresh. All right, I'm not receiving any response. Why? Let me see what I've not done. Oh, I'm supposed to have a period here. Concatenate, I'm supposed to concatenate. All right, so save and then refresh. Okay, this is JSON is what I'm looking for. This is JSON is what I'm looking for. All right, so we've been generated the access token, but then we do not receive the JSON that has been echoed, and this is why. Okay, and this is why. So for us to see this, what has been echoed in the JSON, because we're still receiving the token, but want to eliminate now. We need to first get the raw data, okay, of this JSON item. How do we do that? By doing a var dump, okay? So we're going to var dump the response. This response, before even we do a JSON decode, okay? So we're going to var dump the response, okay? So here I am. Where do I keep confusing that. Okay, sorry. So I want to comment the echo here. All right. Oh, sorry. Let me comment this echo. And then we first var dump the response so that we see what is generated to us. All right, so var dump the response, and then I'm going to come back to and then refresh. Okay, so now this is what we have. Okay, there's something I'm not seeing really. There's something I'm not seeing from the var dump. The var dump is supposed to give me a few items. I want to eliminate the access token here. The access token and whatever is contained, so I only get this. So I just need to know what I'm not doing, right? Okay, I've just echoed the same response. So let me get the I've just echoed the same response. All right, so let me var dump the JSON decode for the response, because you can see right now here it is generating two responses that are giving me the same thing, that is the access token. All right, so let me come and then now var dump a JSON decode of the response. I'm going to var dump a JSON decode of the response. Okay, refresh. All right, so here we are. I have now the access token. This is the access token up here. Okay, but then in the lower one here, okay, I don't want this to confuse us. Let me add something, yeah? Let me add something and then echo it to separate. Okay, let me echo this kind of line to separate these other two responses from up there. Let me copy these two. Okay, so this other response down here is the var dump for the response, and then down here is the var dump for JSON decode, Okay. All right, I've saved that. Let me hope I'll have those up there. Okay. All right, so my items are not organized very well, but we're interested in the lower one here. It is putting items onto my strings. How can I organize this? For example, here we have the first thing we're receiving is the access token. Okay? What is it? We are receiving the access token, and then we are also receiving the access type, okay? And then how long it takes to expire, all right? And then in the JSON decode, we are receiving now, it's an std class, which is in position 1, the access, which is in a string, and then we get that string, and then we get the token type, okay, here, all right? So these two items are what we're going to use to select these two items. These are like, remember when we went to and looked at JSON, here, okay? This is just because the other one has not separated it, but you can see these, we have curly braces here, curly braces and then curly brackets, and this is what is exactly being shown to us here. We have these, curly brackets, and then we have curly braces for the different items. You get it, Okay, so we're trying to get and eliminate all these unnecessary items. We only want to get the access token that is in that string. Okay, we want to get the access token that is in that string. So we want to get only the access token. We do not want to get the token type. We do not want to get what time it expires. We want the access token because it's the one we are going to use to put in our other code. Okay, so what do? Now, I put a JSON decode here, okay, after getting the var dump for the response. So the var dump is the PHP native function, but then we're going to get now the access token. We are trying to get the access token from this variable, the variable that we use to decode. We're going to use it to pin the access token inside there. All right, so let me do this. I guess at this level you understand what I'm trying to do. So next, therefore we may not need this var dump here, and then because the var dump was only showing us what do we need to access. We need to access to get the access token. What do we need to get? The access token. And now I'm getting this. Where is it? Where are you? I'm getting this variable token object and JSON decoding it, and then getting the same variable token object, okay, and pointing inside token object to get the access token, okay, and equate that whatever I've got here, and I equate it to the token. So what do I need to echo? I need to echo the token. I may even do a var dump. Let me just be sure. So I need to echo the token variable, the token, and then save. All right, so we'll go ahead. If it doesn't give me any response, then I will need to var dump it also. All right, so where is it? Here we are. The only thing we have is the token. After the JSON decode, the only thing we have is the token, and you can see we've eliminated the strings here, and the only thing we're getting is the token. And this token is now the one that we're going to put in our functions. All right, so let me conclude this. So I'm getting the token and adding it to an independent variable called zToken. Sorry for my naming, but you can see I keep on, I want to keep the naming profile, corresponding well. So I'm getting it and putting it into the token. All right, so I could have var dumped the token again here. Let's try var dumping the token so that we do not skip any gaps that I skipped previously. All right, so before I echo the token, let me var dump the token. Before I echo the token, let me var dump the token, and then we see what we get. Command V, and then var dump that, and then Command S. I just to be sure that I've not, Command S, Sum 7, just to be sure that I've not skipped anything. And I hope I've broken it down for you. All right, so this is what it is giving us exactly. All right, so var dump is, we've already eliminated the other strings. These are the other strings that were coming in. The token type and the time it expires. For example, if I wanted to access the token type, okay, or the if I wanted to access the token type, okay, what would I do? Instead of getting access, what would I do? I would come here and then insert that string, token type, Command S. Let's see what that will give us. So instead of them, okay, so you see the token type, access token, very simple. So meaning from these various strings of the var dump, okay, we come and get, what do we need to get? Token type, okay, and then expires in, okay, I can also do that. You get, we keep pointing into those independent positions in the JSON variables. The JSON is an array. In the JSON array, okay, Command V, and then Command S, Okay, so if I refresh, I'm supposed to get the time it expires, which is that. So we point into those strings that are into the JSON array, all right? So I'll undo here. All we need to get is the access token. All right, now, just to be sure, that's why I did this, you know. I got this, the token, and then equated it to another the token, and then I get the access token, but it will give you the same in the response. All right, so I do that. Let me just do that so that I don't get off. And then Command S, and then, all right, so I refresh. Okay, so here it is. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to eliminate all these because right now I no longer need them. All I need is this. All right, so let me go ahead and eliminate, comment out. So I'm going to I don't need the var dump there. So I'm going to comment this, all right. Okay, so I've done this, and this is what I'm going to do. You're going to see. Remember, I need to put this in a certain function. So let me refresh again. I've just eliminated all the unnecessary items. Okay, so I have this access token up here, okay, which ends from here, and then I have the other token, the independent token without this JSON, without the JSON formatting. So what do I need to do? Remember, this is out of the main function there. Okay, so we're going to include it up into this function so that we do not get what? Okay, so instead of echoing it, what am I going to do? I'm going to come up here where you see echo response. Okay, so else what I'm going to do, instead of echoing response, I'm going to get all this that I've just created below here. Okay, and then I'm going to cut it and then paste it here. Command save. All right, so I may need to still comment out this because response is already captured here. Okay, so response is already captured here. Remember, this is response and it is already captured here. So since this is not going to echo anything, I'm commenting it out and then command save. So all I need to see is my token. I do not need to see anything like a string or something. All right, so let me go back and refresh. There we are. That is our access token. All right, so remember, I'm echoing it, but in your programming, you may not need to echo. You just echo as a way of debugging, getting to know what results are being produced. And that is our access token. All right, so do not forget to subscribe, like, comment. That is how I get to know how you viewers are taking my videos. Do not forget to share and hit the notification. I do very many other videos and I'll keep doing these videos. If you feel you want to support, you can write to me, CRA, that is Crank Luger. You can write to me at CRA, okay, CRA at Gmail, all right, this is Mark, at gmail.com. Please support. You can write to me, you ask for my contact. If you want to send any juice, it is very welcome. Remember, these videos, I do not have any hits so much, but maybe I solved something you were stuck with. Thank you so much. The next video is instant. The next video is right now. I don't want to make very long videos that people will watch and get exhausted. Thank you so much. Tune in for the next video. It's right now.